Hey everybody, welcome back to the Market Interest, where we talk stocks, finance, and the markets. Last week I had an incredible opportunity to attend the Louisiana Energy Conference, where leaders in the oil and gas industry talked about very relevant topics. Obviously, number one is why are energy prices so high? But besides that, they also spoke about different ways that they're creating clean energy and ways that they plan on improving that clean energy in the future. We can't forget geopolitical issues like Russia-Ukraine crisis, and then obviously investment opportunities. Now, the speakers and business leaders that attended this were really high caliber. I'm talking about former executives from Schlumberger, for instance, or people who sat right next to Dick Cheney at Halliburton, worked with him every single day. So people who really know the industry inside and out. It was really impressive. So shout out to Al Petrie for making this happen. Now, one of my biggest takeaways was that the energy sector just has not been getting adequate investment for about a decade now, which leads to some really incredible investment opportunities for you and I, but it also leads to some national security issues and a lack of supply, a huge lack of supply, which is what we're facing right now, which is why we're seeing gas prices so high. This lack of investment means that companies weren't able to purchase the right materials that they needed to, or hire new staff. So now we're at this really strange point where we don't have enough energy to go around the world right now. The energy pricing is really affected by supply and demand. If there is a huge demand for oil and energy and gas right now, but there isn't enough supply, then guess what? Prices, naturally, they just go up. People are bidding for those commodities. What we're seeing right now are companies bidding for commodities because there's limited resources and the prices just keep stacking up higher and higher. Now, I've heard people in the media or just in public in general just say that these oil and energy companies, that they're just making a killing. They have record profits, and out of every single company that I spoke with, and maybe there's some out there, but out of every company I spoke with, their margins have actually shrunk. Every single one of them, their margins are shrinking because they're dealing with inflation too. Their materials are costing more. They need to find an engineer, hire them, they need to find the land, and then start producing. It's been really difficult for the energy industry as well, finding the right people, attracting them into the field, because there's been so much negative output from the media saying that, energy companies are criminal and they're destroying our environment. Which is interesting to me because every single leader that I spoke with as well cares a lot about their environment, and they have actual plans put in place to reduce their carbon emissions, recapture any piece of emission. They don't want that waste going out into the environment. They would rather collect it and sell it. That would make sense as a business. So there's kind of been this, perfect storm in a sense within the energy industry. Starting off first, there was obviously an underinvestment for about a decade or so. Second, there's an increased demand, just worldwide, an increased demand for energy. Third, it's kind of hard to supply energy really fast. It doesn't happen just like that. It takes time, so it's hard to supply energy. And number four, let's just throw a war in there as well. Those four things are causing opportunities for investors, but also risks for people in general. Now, I really want to get some answers in terms of how do we navigate throughout this investment environment. It's a pretty tricky environment that we're dealing with. So what's the best way to go about doing that? So I had the opportunity, I sat down with a few of these business leaders and asked them directly, what opportunities do you see within your business? What type of risks do you have within your business? How are you planning to be more energy efficient or reduce your carbon emissions? How can you be more ESG friendly? And I got some really cool and interesting answers back from these people, and I'm really excited to share that with you. So stay tuned. I'm going to be dropping these videos later on this week, next week as well, and you guys can learn from every single one of these business leaders. Hear from Valco Energy, Ring Energy, and NESR. 3 really good companies. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Stay tuned.